So have you seen the sick-ass review that Oziage did about Persona 1? He is also working one for Persona 2 as we speak.
Haha, you mean the games that don't exist?
Persona 1 and 2 are the bane of my existence purely because everyone can't stop making that bloody joke about them seemingly not existing. Look guys, I totally understand. Persona 1 and 2 have just been left in the dust to rot, unlike their newer, shinier counterparts. But let me make a bold claim here and say that Atlus haven't forgotten about them. It might seem as though it's unbelievable, but have you guys seen the 25th Persona anniversary? Because I'm pretty sure that Atlus have kind of put them in there and, you know, released some merch about the pro tags from these little titles because who doesn't want a little extra cash? Am I right, guys? Now, I know this video is going to be a little bit shorter because I'll be honest, I really just don't want to stretch it out and blab on about how people are upset and confused about the kind of weird attention, or lack thereof, that the first two Persona titles get. But real cringy and real quick guys, don't forget to help out the channel by letting me know what you all think in the comment section, liking the video and subscribing to the channel for future content. Okay, now that cringe is done, let me channel my few years of game developer experience and get down to the reasons why Atlus may seem like they're forgetting Persona 1 and 2. The first reason is probably the easiest one to explain. These games have for sure aged and become outdated. This doesn't mean by any stretch of the means that these games are terrible. They kinda just don't fit in with a modern setting. If they were to be released as a new game now, they wouldn't achieve the reception or sales that the developers would like. These games are not very user-friendly with their outdated functionality, and I know some of you guys like these things, but remember we have to think about the good old casual normie gamer here because they do make up a good portion of sales and the player base. I can tell you all right now that these games would not be everyone's cup of tea, and that brings me to the next point I'd like to bring up, which are the PSP ports of the games. Now, something really interesting that you guys may not know about the release of these games on the PSP is that the reception was fairly average. Persona 1 was praised for its proper localizations, visuals, and story, but the mechanics were debated on. A lot of reviewers stated that the gameplay was a bit awkward and inadequate, with one reviewer even going so far as to say, to anyone who was a fan of the PS2 games, Persona could very well feel like a punch to the face and a boot to the crotch. Persona 2 Innocent Sin, on the other hand, was tedious and repetitive to both Western and Japanese reviewers, and Eternal Punishment saw much of the same criticism. I would like to think that the overall average reception to these two titles is one of the reasons why Atlus is even not considering putting these games on other systems despite the outcry of some fans, but that's not everything. I have one last point, and this one is that Current P Studio weren't really involved with the original titles. I am aware that some staff are still present, but it's a lot easier for them to go off and do anything they want with the titles that they have created rather than ones that they didn't. I also feel like they wouldn't quite know what to do with these games if they were to actually go off and make a spin-off at this point, though that could easily change sometime in the future. I think that this is the least compelling point, but it's honestly something I like to think about a lot because it'd explain at least a bit of the lack of attention to these older titles. So those are most likely the reasons that Atlus aren't really doing anything with the first two Persona titles. I do want these games, especially Persona 2, to be remade personally, but I'm not expecting anything to come of it as these games have just had such a hard time being re-released previously. And with that all being said and done, thanks everybody for watching this video. My name is Resin Unleashed, the resident who is slowly getting better from all of her mental illnesses, and I'll catch you all next time.